Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Same Team, Different Jerseys. I am Damian with my co-host Hannah. Once again, we are ecstatic to be here. Are you ecstatic?
I'm ready.
Are you overjoyed?
I kind of am. This topic's a good one.
You have ideas?
I have lots of ideas.
Fucking Jesus.
Yeah. I kid you not, before we even start an episode, I've already got ideas for the next couple of episodes.
You have no idea how much I just get home from work, sit down, and fucking wing it. Like, there is nothing I think of all through the day. You call me and you talk about stuff, but like, if you told me to jump on and just start talking, yeah, I have no idea. It's blank up there, along with being bald.
That lizard brain?
Yeah, it's that male lizard brain. Blaine, today's going to be fun. I'm already fucking everything up.
Yeah, it's okay.
I can't talk. I can't talk.
Okay.
Yep. As long as my dog doesn't like go nuts in the background again. But he doesn't have a shock collar on him.
Don't say that. We're going to get so much hate.
You don't. Do you know the joke? Do you know what I'm talking about? Asan Piker or Asun, whatever the fuck his name is, the far left liberal dude. He got in a lot of trouble because he has his dog in the background of his podcast, and every time the dog got off the his little bed, and it's a big furry dog, he fucking electrocuted him. And he did it on the podcast live. Like every time, and it wasn't a little jolt either, because you can hear the dog just fucking yelp.
Okay, let's not do that. Let's not be that guy.
No, my wife would kill me.
I mean, we might have to stop our podcast before we even got really started.
No. Oh, it's going to get so much spicier than this.
Oh yeah.
If they can't handle this, they're in for a rude awakening. Yeah. So, what are your ideas? Is it going to piss me off?
I think we're finally going to find something we might disagree on, where we actually get to debate, maybe, and where we just have to kind of settle and say, you know what? We agree to disagree. And
well,
it's a good
exciting.
thing and it'll be a good thing that, I'm not straight and we're not married.
To each other? Oh, okay. Yeah, the logistics wouldn't work.
Especially with this topic.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. What's this grand plan do you have?
With that, right? Okay, so the past week since our last episode, I somehow managed to get onto gender role TikTok.
Oh, fuck.
And hear all these TikToks about, not even necessarily professionals, not therapists or sex therapists or any of that nature, talk about gender roles. And it's just a group of men and a group of women talking about it, right? Well, then I got curious. And so I started finding podcasters that talk about it. And now one of my favorite podcasts to listen to currently is The Diary of a CEO. He does a lot, and I actually listened to a whole 2-hour-long podcast about feminism and gender roles and whatnot. And one that stuck out the most was a woman talks about how she wants a man that makes good money, right? Like 6 figures. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom. She wants him to buy her a car. She wants him to buy the house and pay for her nails and pay for her hair. She wants this man to be the white and shining armor. And the guys were like, okay, but what are you going to do as a wife? Are you going to cook dinner? Are you going to clean the house? Are you going to bear children for him? The whole 9 yards of what a wife is supposed to do. And she's like, no, I'm not doing any of that. That's not asking for a wife. That's asking for a mother. A mother does your laundry. A mother makes your food. A mother takes care of you. And she's like, I don't want to be a mother. I want to be a wife. And they were like, good luck. You're never going to have a husband.
Yeah. Before we get going, scooch to your left about 2 inches. Keep going. There we go. Now you're centered. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
you were way off to the, yeah. Okay. Anyways, so do you want me to just go on a 1 hour rant on how he's absolutely correct and she is just terribly wrong?
No, I want to break it down. Okay. So in your opinion, what are gender roles for you?
Male and female. There's only 2 genders. Males have a very specific role and women have a very specific role. Not saying that a woman or a man cannot deviate in rare cases, those gender roles. There are very masculine women and there are very feminine men. So the gender roles are not set in stone, but for 99% of people, they work. And the people that try to get away from that have a very unhappy life. We're seeing it in statistics right now. Women are the most unhappy they've ever been in history. There are more drugs being used for like depression, bipolar disorder, all kinds of stuff by women than any other time in history. Now, you can chalk that up to we diagnose it more now, and that can be a discussion, or something has drastically changed in the past 40, 50, 60 years that has uprooted the natural, I don't want to say natural order, but the natural order of things.
Like the traditional order?
The traditional order. There we go. In my marriage, and we might actually splice in my wife giving her opinion on this because she's very, very much in sync with me on this, how pretty much all good marriages should be on gender roles. There are certain things that, not because we're married, but because I am a man, I do. She does not touch the trash. She doesn't take it out. That's a man's job. I take care of the cars. I make sure that when she goes to the store and she buys something and she pulls out the debit card, that there's money on it. I make sure that when she goes and gets in the car and turns the key, it starts. Those are jobs that are mine. And she is very strict about that. Like, that is what you take care of. And she has repeatedly said, I have a man, so I don't have to worry about that. That is your job. And then on the flip side, she does have things that are a woman's job in her opinion and in mine. So this is not me being strict or like chauvinistic or toxic masculinity. No, she insists on this too. Something personal I never want. Like, aside from, and if you know what I mean by never want, in the bedroom, intimacy, I never want for that. If I ask, it's a yes. Now, aside from, of course, if she's not feeling well, medical things, no big deal. But a headache that lasts for 2 weeks is a fucking problem. Go see a doctor. Like, the common trope of, oh, I have a headache, not tonight. No, if you have a headache for 2 weeks, go see a doctor. It's a problem. You should want to be intimate with your partner. And if you can go months and months and months without it, then you need to reevaluate your relationship, marriage, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is. So
Would
there's
you
more to it.
say that people could not have relationships without it then?
I don't think they can have good ones. I think there's even so you and people fall into this. People fall into gender roles naturally because that is the natural way of doing things.
Right.
The natural order of things. People just fall into them. Whether they like to or not, they do it. And you are a perfect example of it, along with a dozen other people I know. Are married to another female. You two are females married to each other. So there should be no masculine role. But you fall into that masculine role, and it's not that she asked you to. You just naturally fell into it. You take care of the car. You do the stuff that a man does, even though it is a lesbian relationship. I have never seen, aside from porn, which, let's face it, ain't real. But when you see a married couple, two females married, it is very rare that you see two feminine females married to each other. One naturally falls into the male role of doing the male things. I mean, unless you watch Hollywood, and then it's always, or porn, and then it's always two absolutely gorgeous women that are married to each other, and they're both feminine and happy, and it's a perfect utopia.
Yeah. So I can agree with that, right? So, like, in my marriage, my wife does not mow the lawn. My wife does not pull weeds. My wife does not wash the cars. She does not take the cars for oil change, right? Now, there is a caveat to that. Like, there has been a situation where I was unable to take my car to the shop. So she took it, but I showed up later when I could. So, and that's not because my wife won't mow the lawn. won't pull weeds, but in my eyes, she shouldn't have to. I do that. And I enjoy it. I don't mind it, right? I don't mind going outside and having to mow the lawn or having to pull weeds or whatever, but I just don't want her to have to worry about that. Like when her car pings and whatever and says that it's due for an oil change, she texts me and she's like, "Hey, my car pinged, it's due for an oil change." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm taking it on my next day off. I got the schedule made or the appointment made. I'm going." So because obviously I don't drive her car very often, and so I don't know when the oil change is due for it. I don't keep track of it. Like I'm not like, okay, in exactly 3 months it's gonna be due, like because that could vary, right? When it comes to like hanging stuff up on the walls, I know that my wife is more than capable of going and grabbing the hammer and the nails and the level and doing all that stuff out and doing it, but I would prefer to do it. Because then she gets to sit on the sideline and go, "Honey, it's a little crooked. Can you move it?" Or, "Honey, it needs to go to the left just a little bit. Actually, you know what? I kind of want it higher." And I'm like, "Okay, I got you. Let's do it." But there are things that she is way more capable in than I am. Like our bathroom right now needs a new faucet. She is more than capable to do it. And if there was a weekend that I'm at work and she's like, "Hey, I bought the faucet. I'm going to replace it." I'd be like, "Okay, are you cool with doing it without me?" And if she's like, "Yeah, I'll get it done," then by all means go and do it. She was gifted in that. She had somebody in her family who was fairly good at all this stuff of like, carpentry and house building and plumbing and stuff like that. So she's more than capable. So there are stuff that we both pick up when it comes to what would be classified as the more man's role to go do. But for the most part, like yes, like I make sure that we have money in our accounts, and if she's running short on money, I move money over so that she has money in case something happens. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I take up those roles just naturally.
The oil change thing was funny because my wife has done one oil change. One. I was working. It was overdue. I've been working every day without a day off. And every time I got off work, the place was closed. I just didn't have time. And I bring all my cars in to the dealership and have the oil change. And I buy the oil separately. So I use special oil for all the vehicles. And I just didn't have time, but I had bought the oil. She was off and I told her, "I don't like it, but the vehicle needs an oil change. It's in the trunk of your car. Run to Jiffy Lube and just have them do it and just use my card." She came back not the next day, but I got home and she was here and she was like, "Don't you ever fucking ask me to do that again." And she hasn't done it since. They came up to the car and they were like, even though the oil was with her, oil and filter, they were like, "What size engine do you have?" And she just panicked. She panicked. I was like, "It doesn't matter what size it," but she didn't know to be assertive enough to go, "It doesn't fucking matter. It's in the trunk." But of course, Jiffy Lube, they have to type everything in. They got to type the engine size, all that crap.
Bro, what are they doing? They can go pop the hood.
They could pop the hood and fucking look at the little cigarette front. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they asked her a couple questions and she doesn't know anything about that. Now she wants to kind of learn, but not learn. She doesn't mind me telling her and showing her, but in the end, okay, no, that's your job. You're the man.
But it's just out of her own curiosity.
Yeah, it's more out of her own curiosity. Her Corvette, she's done one or two things to it. Like she bought the visors on older Corvettes, they get floppy. So she bought new visors and she was really thrilled about that. And she had the visors and I was like, "Okay, when do you want me to?" She was like, "I actually want to do this." So we went in the garage and I sat back and I told her what tools to grab. And, I let her fumble around for a second before I stepped in and "Okay, you want to do this." And she put the visors on and she was like, when she got the visors on, she took pictures of it. She posted on Facebook. She was happy. Like, "Look what I did. This is all me." And so she doesn't mind doing it once in a while, but for the most part to take care of, she completely believes it is a man's job to do these things. You take care of the cars. If anything goes wrong with the house, she wants to go into the bathroom, flush the toilet and everything go away. That's it. That's the extent of, she wants to flush it and it works. If it doesn't, she calls me and she says, "This house is not right. Fix it." I fixed the hole in the wall the one time that our dog put a hole in the wall. So yeah, she doesn't do anything. She picks the paint colors. She's like, she didn't pick this one. She hates my fucking room. She thinks my room is so ugly and I love my room. But yeah, she picks the paint colors. and that's it. And
Yeah, she picks the colors of the paint, she picks the
yeah,
colors of the drapes, the couches,
yep,
you know?
she designs the house, and I put everything up and just live here. This whole house, this room is the only room that's my room. I hung everything. Everything is mine. So that's it. But I do believe, I firmly believe in gender roles. I don't think we've gotten better getting away from gender roles. The price of everything has gone up because of it. Feminism, let me rephrase that. Second, third, fourth, and fifth wave feminism is an absolutely fucking terrible thing to have. Feminism should go away. It's a cancer, and it's doing nothing but hurting women. First wave feminism, the very first feminists that wanted to vote and stuff like that. Okay, that's fine. No, they wanted equality. Well, women have equality now. There's nothing women can do that men can't do. And I still, to this day, firmly believe there's certain things that women should not do.
And those examples would be what?
Frontline combat.
Is that it?
Oh, this one's going to hurt you. You're going to hate this. I'm really torn on police and firemen.
You think police should stay a male dominant?
I lean that way.
Why?
And I know you're a cop. That's why I have a hard time even saying it in front of you. Anything where force is needed, because a woman cannot take on a 250-pound man. Just can't be done. So she pulls over a person and something bad happens, backup can't get there quick enough unless she's calling for backup like the minute she pulls somebody over. And then you run into the problem of every time she pulls somebody over, she's calling for backup, which is taking somebody away from something else. Now, in essence, just because you want a female on the force, now you're using up now it takes two people to do that. And I'm not saying all men can take on a 250-pound man. Not saying that at all. And I'm not saying that no woman can take on a man. But I've watched enough videos of the police videos and stuff like that. And if a man has to be yanked out of a car, I see videos of the men just yanking the man out of the car, or even a woman. They just yank a woman out of a car. And when it's a female police officer, the first thing she does before she has to yank them out, and they're obviously they're past the point of I'm not giving you my license, fuck you, whatever. The first thing she does is she has to call for backup before she cannot. Now, some of that might be rules of their police force and stuff like that, but when push comes to shove, men have the monopoly on force. We're the enforcers of laws. Without men, women don't have rights. Men are the only reason women have rights. And that's there's going to be hate.
It's going to sting a lot of people, right? Because they don't want to accept it. Now, I'm going to say I'm an exception, right? I'd agree with you on the feminism, right? We've talked about this. I believe that old school feminism was good, right?
Yes.
Old school feminism was good. There was a group of women who stood up and said, hey, we should not have to have a man in order to get a credit card, have a bank account, buy a house, buy a car. We should be allowed to vote because these laws do impact every man and woman across the board, right?
Yes.
So I agree in old school feminism. I don't believe in this new wave, women have to be super independent and they shouldn't be settling for I don't believe in that. And this is coming from a lesbian, right? I have a wife. I will only ever have a wife, right? And
you were super independent. I mean, you were a cop. You were deep in a man's field, in the military, a cop in the military. So you were 100% in a man's world.
Oh yeah. I remember working in the Cadam shop and I was always the only female. That changed the last 2 years that I was in, and we got one more female in my shop. But yeah, so I that's coming from working in male dominant career fields, right? Being in mostly male dominant career fields. And even now, I'm in security. That's still a male dominant career field, But I don't believe in this women have to be super crazy independent, that they think that because a man holds the door open for them or pays on the first date or whatever, that they are less than. You know, because if a buddy of yours is like, "Hey, man, you wanna go grab a beer after work?" Do you expect him to pay for your drinks?
It depends. Are you asking him to the bar as a buddy, or do you kind of like him?
No, I'm talking about you. Like, if a buddy of yours, right, who's a guy.
I thought you were talking about if a female asked.
No, no, no. If a buddy of yours who's a guy says, "Hey, man, you wanna go catch a beer after work?" Do you expect him to pay for your drinks?
No, no.
No.
Now, in the bar, one of us might be like, I got this. And that's fine. But you don't go, as men, you don't go in there expecting another man to, fuck, no. You go in there, if you go to the bar, most men, I would say, are expecting to be like, I'm going to pick up the tab. Or he's probably thinking the same thing. And whoever gets it out first fucking wins. Like, I got the, and sometimes you just both pay your own tabs or whatever. But no, there's no expectation of another guy, the guy that asks paying. No, that's not a thing in the male world.
But so, like, there's this thing about, like, women are independent now. So a man should not be paying for her meal or her drink if he takes her out because they're making it this assumption that she's too poor to pay for her own. And that may not be the case. I mean, this could be a woman who's a CEO and is making, millions of dollars or is making six figures or, whatever. She's making good money. And I don't know. I think it's just gone too far to where now they're like, oh, because men do this for us and they don't do it for other men, we are seen as less than.
Right. The whole getting mad at somebody for holding the door. I've actually had it. I'm traditional. I hold the door open for women. And when I was in Jersey, I held the door open at a Wawa for a woman and she got pissed. I can hold the door. I don't need a man to do this for. Well, fine. Fuck you then. What's going on is men are supposed to be the protectors. In my opinion, the men are supposed to be the protectors. And now we have stories like the one story about the woman that was raped on the subway and men just stood there and like ignored it. Like they looked away.
Like they didn't see it.
They didn't do anything. And I grew up in the time and the way I was raised and the way I feel is that man should have disappeared right then and there. By all the men on that train. All the men on that train shouldn't even have gotten to the point of rape. It should have got to the point of he was being a little touchy-feely, and that should have been the end of it. 3 men should have walked over them, folded him in half, and threw him off the train. That should have been, and that's how men check other men. Because if I get into when most women get into a fight with a man, there's no threat of force because traditionally, we are not allowed to hit a woman. Well, my wife worked in the high school. You've been in the high schools. That's starting to change. Most men nowadays think that if you hit a man, you're going to get hit back with a closed fist.
Yeah, it's open season.
It's open season because women have been screaming for equality. Trust me, you don't want equality. And sorry, men and women are not equal. I'm not saying we're not equal in the brain power. Lots of smart women. I've seen you shoot a gun. You could shoot it better than a lot of men I know. So, but when it comes to physical force, we're just not equal. Sorry. We have gender roles and we need to stick to them. And I think the world would be a better place with that. I don't think women should be excluded from like doctors and lawyers and jobs that have no threat of force, where you have to take down another person or carry another person out. Because I'm sorry, if you're burning in a building, and I don't care who you are, you could be the most staunch feminist in the world, but if you're a woman burning in the building and you're a little heavy on the heavier side, say you're, 2.25, and a 5'5", 130-pound woman walks in there, you're instantly not a feminist. Because you want the 220-pound dude that can take you, pick you up, and throw you over the shoulder and walk you out. That's why I kind of believe it's really hard. I believe women should be treated equal, but police, firemen, frontline, combat,
It gets a little murky.
It gets murky and there's an argument against it. Now, if you do have the rare women that can bench 250, can throw 2 men over their shoulder, like there is that woman. And I'm not saying it should be restricted to women. Like, I don't think firemen, police, and frontline combat, like I said in the last video, I don't think you should make a rule that says no women, but you need to be able to pick up a 220-pound man. or whatever. You need to be able to pass the test like a man would pass the test. And if you can throw that 220 man over your shoulder and, hump him out of the building, by all means, you got the job. But to lower the standards so, all women are welcome, I think that's doing a disservice to the job.
Agree in some aspects, right? Obviously, I was a cop in the military. I obviously work security now and everything, But I'd agree with it to an extent, right? Like I agree that we shouldn't be lowering standards for women to be able to do these jobs, right? Like whatever test you're putting the men through, that's probably the same test that you should be putting women through, right? I don't think there should be if the men are expected to carry a 200-pound dummy 50 yards, then a woman should be doing the exact same thing. We shouldn't be like, oh no, that's the men's dummy. The women have a 160-pound dummy.
Do the women have a 160-pound? Do they have a different dummy? I mean, you've been through. Okay.
No, when I went through some of the prerequisitions to be a cop out here, no, it's all the same. We all had to run the same test. We all had to push a patrol car the same distance. We all had to carry the same dummy. We all had to do the same test. Yeah. Now the tests that they're doing in some places, like they're not the highest standards as it is, right? Like,
right.
You get the common stuff. Like you got to hop over a 6-foot chain link fence. You got to hop over a 6-foot wood fence. You got to carry a dummy. And it's usually a 160-pound dummy, and it's like 25 feet. You got to be able to push a patrol car so many feet, right? Everybody's shooting standards are the same across the board. And then, like, you have like a 90-yard obstacle course, and the time is the same, but it's like a pretty excessive time, right? Like,
so do you think standards, because women are so readily available in all career fields or in all jobs, do you think they've lowered the standards so women can pass it?
No, I think when it comes to certain things like cops and firefighters, I think the standards got lowered because there was such a decrease in people applying for those jobs. And so they lowered the standards so that they could pump their numbers up.
Okay. And
I think that's what it is. Because I've heard people talk about like, oh man, like 10 years ago, the police standard was like you had to be in good shape to pass it. And then the whole defund the police and nobody wanted to be a cop anymore. And now the standards are really low because across the nation, everybody's hurting for cops.
Right.
So I think feminism has ruined some of that stuff right now. I think feminism is also good. Like I'm all about there being female independent boss ladies that are running their own companies and they're making awesome money, right? And they're 100% the provider, right? Do you think in relationships they should tailor some of the gender roles to who is doing what? Like, for example, if you have a female who is the independent boss lady and she is making 6 figures, do you think they can switch the role to where she's a provider and, she's bringing home the bacon, she's putting the bread on the table, and the husband can take the role of something because she is now taking that role of provider.
The old-fashioned
like
he's the housewife.
He can still be the protector, right? Because he is a man. He can still be the protector of his wife and family. But if she's like, hey, say she's pregnant, they're gonna have kids, or maybe they do have kids, and she's like, hey, because I'm doing all this CEO stuff day in and day out, and I'm bringing home the bacon, and if we want to continue living the type of lifestyle that we have, can you be a stay-at-home dad?
So, I mean, I was a stay-at-home dad. I am 3 months out of the year every year, but I was for a while, actually, too. My thought on this is very consistent. Whoever is home, the home is your job. So this is not something that, like, if a woman does not work and the man goes and works, or vice versa, whoever is home, your job is to take care of that home. When that person comes home from a 8, 10, 12, 14-hour day, he or she better not lift a finger. So, sorry. My throat's really dry lately. When I get my son during the summer, I stop working and I'm a stay-at-home dad. My wife works 12 hours a day. So she works 3-4 days, 12 hours a day. When my wife comes home, she literally comes home and there's a trail of clothes. She's taking off her boots because my wife is security too. She's taking off her boots. She's taking off her uniform. I walk in there and her uniform is on the ground. I get her uniform. I ask her if it needs to go in the wash or if she's going to wear it again tomorrow. I put it up. The bed is made. Dinner is on the table ready. The kids are taken care of. Laundry is done. The house is clean. That is my job, is to make sure she wants for nothing when she walks in that door. When she completely relaxes, sits down and eat. I do not expect her to take care of the kid, but she does. She helps out because my son is special needs and there's a lot to it. He has diabetes. He's severely autistic. So there's a lot. And the house is, I mean, he destroys a house. Like, he makes a mess. I'm still capable of making sure that when she walks in the door, he's clean, he's taken care of, he's fed, dinner's on the table. She wants for nothing. Now, if you're a woman and you don't work and your husband goes and works, sorry, your job is the house. If he walks in the door and he has to touch anything, if he has to pick up a sock, do the dishes, anything, you failed as a wife. You failed as a, I don't even want to say wife, because I consider the husband can do that too, because I'm the husband. And if my wife has to do anything when she gets home, I have failed. If she has to pick up anything, I have failed. And I do that when she doesn't work and I'm the full-time worker. When I come home, she better be the house. I should want for nothing. There should be nothing for me to do when I walk in that door. And I think we've gotten away from that. So I don't believe that's a woman's job. I believe that's whoever is in charge of the house. The house is your job. That's what you do.
Okay, well, let's take into account. We'll talk about traditional gender roles with that. Okay. So
Okay.
we'll take husband and wife, and we'll say they have a kid or two, right? Smaller children. Okay. Wife is the CEO still, right? Makes
Okay.
good money. Husband is the stay-at-home daddy, right?
Okay.
Family comes over. We're talking like mothers, mother-in-laws, fathers, father-in-laws, right? And we'll say the house is slightly dirty that day. Who gets the blame for the house being dirty most commonly?
Depending on the age of the parents, but I know where you're going with this. The mother-in-law, especially the mother-in-law, will walk over and I see it's a little dusty. And she'll be looking at the wife after she just got done with a 12-hour fucking shift. It's a little dusty. Your husband shouldn't be doing that. That's your job. But I also believe that's where the husband should speak up and defend his wife. Like, as harsh as it may sound, if you're I defend people, whoever is in the right. Whether it's my wife, whether it's you, whether it's anybody. If they're in the right, they're in the fucking right. End of discussion. And if your mom is being rude, condescending, mean to your wife, who you love and have children with and a family with, you need to step up and defend your wife. My wife's family hated me with a passion and talked terribly to me. There's a big story in that, but we're not going to get into that. But they hated me and always talked bad. Anytime they said anything bad, if my wife went and visited her family, if they said anything bad, even if I wasn't there to hear it, she'd be like, no, don't be talking about my husband like that. That is your job, is to stand up for your spouse. I don't believe family is always blood. Sorry.
I'd agree.
They're just not. I don't get along with a lot of my family. You're more blood than some of my family. So no, just this blood is thicker than water. And that's actually not the correct quote. Actually, your blood is thicker than water. There's actually more to it that actually says that just because they're family, they're not close. So no, you need to stick up for them. But you are correct, especially with older couples. When they come over, the mother will look at the woman and say, maybe you should spend a little bit more time cleaning. And I think that's wrong. That's
okay. So even in those situations too, though, right? This is where I have a problem with some of the gender roles that people will, without knowing how the family is operating, right? How that wife and husband are operating. Okay.
yes.
Children. If children are misbehaved, right? Like they go out into public and the child misbehaves, or they're with their grandparents and they misbehave, who are they more likely to blame?
This one I don't know, because if we're talking traditional gender roles, the man is traditionally the disciplinary. In
Right,
old,
right. But
old,
but I mean, what I mean though is like taking this situation, the breadwinner of the family is the wife, and the husband is the stay-at-home dad. But if those kids go out in the public and they misbehave, who are they going to look to blame? Most commonly, they're going to look at the mother.
you think so?
Yes, because women traditionally, gender roles, women are supposed to be the what? They're
The-
supposed to be the stay-at-home moms that are
yeah,
raising the children and making those children who they're going to be as young adults.
yeah, but and you can argue with me in the comments on this, but I would look at the father. I personally would. I'd be looking at the dad, going, "Dad, you need to do your fucking job because you're the one that is teaching these kids to behave." A woman is the nurturer. She's the one to teach them how to love. The man, in my opinion, is the one to teach them how to act in society. Like you need to, my dad would beat my ass in public, like without question. Like if I misbehaved, if I was doing something stupid in the store, I mean, he'd whip me around and whip my ass in public. And when I got older, a closed fist was needed. But my mom did do that. I mean, I guess I also look at it like the traditional gender roles. What is the stereotype if the kids are misbehaving? You wait till your father gets home because he's the one that disciplines. You wait till your father gets home. And then the kids are like, shit, and they, straighten up or whatever. I can see where you're getting they look at the woman, but I wouldn't. So this is not my expertise in this one. And maybe all the women could actually give their opinion on this one, but I would not look at the woman. I'd look at the husband and be like, your kids are fucking terrors. Like start beating some ass.
That's the first time I've heard that. I haven't heard that a lot. Like a lot of the TikToks or the podcasts that I hear, like most commonly people are like, oh, if the children are misbehaving, it's because the mother's not doing their job. She's not raising them to be, responsible, behaved children.
I mean, this is why I believe that there needs to be single moms are terrible parents. And that's not me saying that. That's statistics. You can look at statistics and every scientific statistic out there, every single one of them, that if you're a single mom, your kids are probably going to be a criminal, end up in prison. That's not Damian saying that. That is, if you look at the science, it is overwhelmingly a fact. End of discussion. Single dads actually do better. Single dads do better because we discipline. You cannot raise a kid on nothing but love. You can't do it.
Just like you can't raise your kids without rejection or failure or hearing the word no, right? Like they can't go through life always hearing yes and always getting what they want, because then you send them out to life and the first time they hear a no or they fail at something, they come crumbling down because they've never experienced it before.
Yeah, they lose it. And I mean, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow for most people, but you can raise a child with discipline and they can function in society. You raise a child without discipline and a strong role model in their life and nothing but love and candy and Skittles and fucking rainbows, they're going to grow up to be criminals. That's just a fact. The gender roles, women are better at teaching kids how to be caring, how to be emotional, because that women are more emotional than men. Like if you took 5 women and 5 men, or the women are going to be more emotional. They're better with emotions. They're better at reading people. The whole ick thing. The women, when they say, oh, I just got the ick. And I've asked my wife about this many times. And I was like, what is it? What is the ick? What do you feel when you're just like, I don't feel like he's a good guy? And they say it's just a feeling. It's a glance. It's a look. It's a vibe.
It's like it, and I hate to say, like, I hate to word it like this, but it's almost like you can see their aura, right? If you're familiar with that, it's
Yes.
like you can feel it, you can sense it. Like when you look at them, you see it. Like you can see that they're just not a good guy.
And women are traditionally better at that. And the fact that women are extremely wonderful. They're powerful. They're like, there's things that women can do that men couldn't even dream to do. I mean, and we're not talking just, popping out a baby. I'm talking about there's just certain things that women have. They can take a chaotic house that is just crumbling come in and bring peace to it. That is a power that men do not have. That's a superpower. That's wonderful that women can do that. They can take an unruly man and ground him. I have PTSD. I have nightmares. I have anxiety. It gets really bad when I'm in groups like at Walmart or something like that. There's only so long I can handle them. My wife, with just a handhold and a touch, can bring it down. My friends can't do that. I mean, they'll call me a pussy and tell me to get the fuck over it. And sometimes you need that. But women can do something that men just can't do. And I think the fact that with the new wave feminism and boss bitch power and all that, I think women are getting away from what they are just God-given, something that men just don't have. And that's why I believe in gender roles. Women have something men don't have, and men have something women don't have. I can look at most women that keep dating bad men, and if you brought that man over to me, in 5 seconds, I can tell you every red flag that you're just totally oblivious to. Like, he's not a good man. Don't fucking date him. Like, he's going to be a shitty man. Like, I can do that without question. And women seem to date the worst fucking men and go, I didn't know he was this bad. Are you serious? Like, he fucking drew you a picture. And
Yeah, like you just had the blinders on because he was good looking, he had a six-pack, and maybe he made good money.
yeah. Maybe he had the 8-inch cock. I don't know. All I know is women are fucking terrible at seeing a bad man.
Well, what's funny about that, right, is I saw this TikTok, and it's this guy, and he's wearing like a nice suit, right? He's got a nice blue sports coat on, red tie, light blue shirt, right? He looks very clean. He looks very professional. He's a ginger, and he's got a nice, well trimmed up beard, good looking hair. He's a okay looking guy. He was a little on the heavier side, so he's a little bigger guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about, this interview was asking him, like, what are women looking for in a man? And he starts talking about, women are looking for four main things, and it's protection. They need to be able to feel safe with you. They need to know that you're going to protect them in any given situation and that you're not going to hurt them, whether it be physically, emotionally, or mentally. They want to feel protected. They also need to feel emotionally supported. Like, they need to know that when they come to you with their emotions, whether it be that they're stressed, they're worried, they're anxious, or whatever it is, they need to know that you're going to be able to hear them and not run away,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then they need the stability, right? That they need to feel that everything is going to be okay, that everything is going to be taken care of. The bills are going to be paid, cars are going to be taken care of, the house is going to be taken care of, food is going to be able to be bought, right? So they got to have a little bit of that stability, which kind of plays into like financial stability. And then he goes into talk about, I think it's spiritual stability, right? Or support, where um they need to feel grounded with you in kind of like their beliefs, I guess, in a way, right? But he talks about these like four main ticket items that, women need out of someone that they're going to consider for a husband or a mate or whatever. And there's all these women that are commenting on it, and they're like, oh my God, like, we need to save this king right here. And this guy knows exactly what women want. Like, this is what we're looking for, and this is what we're asking for. But there's nobody on there talking about how this is the perfect man. Like, he's good looking. He knows what we are willing to, he knows what we're looking for. There's no woman on there talking about how he himself, just looking at him, is the perfect man. And I got on there and I commented about it. I was like, it's crazy. All these women are like, oh, he knows what women want. He's great. Yada, yada, yada. I said, but there's no woman on here talking about how he's the best looking guy.
Unfortunately, I think that comes with age. And one of the biggest things with podcasts right now is the whatever podcast. It's like you got like the three guys and they're arguing with like the three women. And they always pick the women that are like, they work for OnlyFans and they're boss like it's completely different, because when you're younger, you want the 666, 6 packs, 6 inches, 6 figures. That's what women look for. And they don't look for the things and that's how y'all pick the bad fucking man. I'm going to tell you that right now. If that's what you're looking for, you're going to get a lot of shitty men, because those are top tier men. The like 6 figures, 6 packs, 6+ inches, those are top tier men. And just so you know, they could get any woman they want. And
I
you
actually
need
heard
to
about this on a podcast today talking about the 1%er, right? And it has to do with like Tinder and swiping. The 1%ers that are what you're talking about, the good, amazing looking guys, right? The model men who make good money. Same thing goes with model women who make good money. They will have a higher chance on dating apps to get likes or to get matches because of the way they look and because they make good money. And that's only, I think he says it's only 10%. There's only 10% of that on dating apps. The 90%, the rest of everybody, like average people, me and you, right?
Yeah.
We will have like one match in like 1,000 swipes. So you're less if you're in the 90%, which is going to be majority of people, right? If you fall in that category, you're not going to find any type of casual or mate or potential wifey or husband material on a dating app.
That and women have an unrealistic expectation of them of what they are. Like if you ask any woman where would they rate themselves, most women say, "Oh, I'm a 10." You're not a fucking 10. Honestly, what would you think you are? Like the scale of 1 through 10. What would you feel? Honestly, not like to boost your like I'm a 9 from a man's point of view.
Looking the way I currently look,
Yes, the way you are on this TikTok right
I'm
now.
telling you right now, the way I look right now, if a dude is into me, I'm gonna think they're gay. I'm gonna think you're gay. I'm sorry.
My
Like
God.
I know I'm a woman, right? I know that. And they
Right.
obviously like once you talk to me, like you might look at my side profile and look at me from the back and you might be like, "Oh, that's a dude." But then I turn around and I talk and you're like, "Oh, wait, that's a woman." Oh, shit.
Nobody better look at that. You know what? I saw the back of you. Nobody better look at the back of you and think you're a dude because you have an apple ass. You have
This
a
is true.
female ass. You have a hot ass. Besides that, what 1 through 10, 10 being
Smoking hot.
Black Widow. Don't you even fucking say she's not. Oh,
I
what's
don't
her
like
name?
her.
Oh, what's her freaking
You're talking
name?
about Scarlett Johansson.
Oh my God. Oh,
No.
she's fucking 10. That woman is
No.
so goddamn hot. Okay, who's a 10 for you?
She married one of the Jonas brothers. She's an Indian woman. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she plays Alex in Quantico, the TV show.
Okay.
Go look her up.
Okay.
Go look her up real quick. Go look her up on your other screen. I think she's a 10. She's gorgeous.
Okay, she married one of the Jonas brothers?
Yeah, I think it was, what's the younger brother's name?
2 of the 3 Jonas brothers married Kevin Jones to Danielle Jones and Nick Jones to Prakana. I can't even pronounce this.
Yeah.
Priyanka Kapra? How the fuck do you pronounce her name? It's exotic.
No, just go look it up. Go look at a photo of her.
That's what I'm doing. Calm the fuck down. Chill. Let's see how hot she is. Woman, you have a type. Oh my God, you have a type.
She's gorgeous.
She is gorgeous. I don't think she's better looking than Scarlett Johansson, but
I
she
do
is
100%.
gorgeous.
Scarlett Johansson is your typical white girl. She probably orders. I could probably pick out her Starbucks order right now just by looking at her.
There's no fucking doubt she drinks pumpkin spice. And she has a pit bull. Like she is, yes. She looks like no, you are right. She is gorgeous. There's no doubt about it. She is drop dead gorgeous. Okay, so that's your 10. 1 would be, well, we all know what a 1 is. So where would you, she's a 10. Pick whoever wants to pick their 1. Like if fucking Roseanne Barr is a 1, there's a 1.
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, Bill fucked her. I mean, what do you want? Like somebody loves her.
He also cheated on her, so.
Yeah. But okay, so we'll say Roseanne Barr 1, your however the fuck you pronounce her name is a 10. Where would you fall?
Solid 7.5.
Wow. That most women
Pretty good
say
looking.
10.
Okay, like not to toot my own horn, okay. But I think I'm pretty good looking woman. Like I'm pretty good looking.
Okay. I love you, Hannah. I would put you just above average. You'd be a 6. Like you're
Hurtful.
whoa. Just before anybody gets on here and starts going, well, you're fucking dude, I categorize myself as like a 3 or 4. Like, so don't think I'm thinking myself's a 9. Trust me. I'm a 3 or 4. My personality might be a 9 or a 10, but no, in just fuckability, I'm a 3 or 4. The only reason I push you at a 6 is because I'm not big into short hair.
Yeah. Now, see, if I was a total femme and I had long hair and I did my makeup and everything, I'd be pretty close to a 10. No, I'd be pretty close to a 10. I would rate myself, if I was a femme, I'd be pretty close.
I'm fucking looking at her and you're not. I don't care if you had long hair. Okay. Wow, you think highly of yourself.
I'd be pretty close.
I do. Back what I was getting at was most 5s and 6s. We'll say 4, 5s, and 6s. Women think they're a 10 and they can pull a 9 guy. So women they're not marrying this fucking 5, but they can pull a guy will fuck pretty much anything. I mean, so if you think, so a 9 on Tinder will date and fuck a 5 female. Now that 5 female now will think, I deserve a 9 because this guy's screwed. Women need to realize there's a difference between putting a ring on it and putting your dick in it. There's a big difference. We will have sex with a 5. We're not marrying one and we're not bringing you home. So if you think you're dating this guy or sleeping with him, even if you're doing it for like months and months and months, the real test of where your looks are at is if a ring goes on it. If you put a ring on it, then you're actually in his league. But that I think is what ruined feminism.
I've heard this thing from men that men know if they're going to marry a woman in the first 6 months. True or false?
Totally true. Totally true. If you've been engaged for 10 years, you're never going to get married.
Really?
He's not going to marry you. You may be able to force him, but he's going to be very unhappy. First of all, I don't know any woman that will be engaged for 10 years. If you are, then you're living in Delulu land.
So what about the boyfriend girlfriends that aren't engaged, right? And they've been together 5, 6, 7 years. Like what's that all about then?
He's not going to marry you.
So why is he staying with her? If he knows that her intentions are to get married and he already decided in the first 6 months, I'm not marrying her, why does he stick around? If he knows that he can go get, right, as we just said, a 9 male will go with a 5 or a 4 female, why does he stick around?
Because it's easy sex. He's guaranteed sex. Right now, me and you could go to the bar, and if somebody gave us $5,000 to get laid, and we're not talking about a woman, we're talking like if you had if you were straight and you had to get a guy, and I had to get a woman, and looks like I don't have to get a good-looking woman. You don't have to get a good look. As long as I get laid, it counts. You're walking home with somebody, and I'm not. It is so much harder for a man to get laid than and this is why than a woman to get laid. Any woman could go to the bar, and as long as she doesn't have standards, and even if she has a little bit of standards, she's going home with a dude. Like somebody's going to sleep with her. It is not guaranteed for a man. It is much easier for women to get a guy than for a man to get a woman. Men do not pull tail nearly as much as women think. Like, I've been very blessed through my life, but it's not because I've had the looks. I've had to make up for it in like personality and funny and all that other stuff, and being friends with I'm friends with a lot of girls. Not no more, because I don't have female friends, because I'm married, which is a whole other. I don't think married couples should have opposite friends. My wife met you first, and she approved you. And there's so many special categories for you that it almost doesn't count. But I'm not allowed to have. There's no way a straight woman could walk into this house right now. I'm home alone. I'm doing a podcast with you. My wife's at work. My wife's best friend, she's known for 15 years. Her best friend, we both know who we're talking about. I don't want to mention her name just in case she doesn't want it. Could not walk into this house right now. And if she came over and knocked on the door and needed some help, like, I would meet her at the door. She would stay on the outside of the house, ask me whatever she needs. And if she needed me to come over to help her with something or what, I'd call my wife immediately. Like, Steph. Yep. Steph. And everybody thinks it's pussy whip. Everybody says it's pussy whipped, but just so you know, everybody out there in internet land, my wife does not have male friends that she can see without me. No males walking. If I'm working, like, okay, I work tomorrow, my wife is off. None of her male friends, not even acquaintances, none of the males that she knows are allowed to walk into this house without me being here. And they know better. Like, they are well aware of it. And if any of them knocked on the door to like bullshit with her and just be like, hey, let's hang out, my wife would say no. And she would call me immediately, because I don't think women and men should hang out with the opposite sex if they're in a relationship. It's bad optics. Somebody's going to slip on a banana peel, which is, I don't know if anybody else knows that reference, but you know, what'd you do? Slipping on a banana peel and fall on his dick? You know, no, somebody will. You're going to have a bad day. And people think it's, oh, you don't trust your wife. No, it has nothing to do with trusting my wife. It's respect for the other person. Because if some dude comes over and hangs out with my wife without me being home for hours, nothing happened. Like, say nothing happened. I mean, it was literally just friends. When I come home, if I go over to the neighbor's house, or if I'm out there doing yard work, one of the neighbors are going to be like, hey, yeah, I saw this dude come over when you were at work for like 3-4 hours. Oh yeah, that's my wife's friend. It just puts a
Speculation kicks in.
It puts a doubt in your mind. Like, she said he was
I
only
wasn't worried about it before, but
now I am. I totally, and I'm sorry, you can trust somebody 100%. But there's no reason to even bring that temptation in. And because women cheat just as much as men. This whole men are dog shit that men are always the one. No, women are better at lying about it. They're better at doing it. Men get caught more because I think the last statistics I saw, most men get caught because they post it on Facebook. So men are fucking stupid.
Or, they make Tinder accounts and then their wives get suspicious. So they go make Tinder accounts. And then what do? They find their husbands.
Yeah. They're like,
I can't tell you how many TikToks I've seen about that, where women are like, let's make a Tinder account to find my husband. And like 10, 15 swipes in, what do? They find their husband.
Yeah, because men are stupid and women have a spidey sense. Women can cheat I've heard of women cheating for like years, having a side piece for years. And the guy has
no idea.
No idea. Matter of fact, you and me know about a specific person and the other person has no idea. No clue. Yeah. Yeah, the guy has no idea.
So to an extent, like, so my wife and I are very secure in our relationship, right? I am not worried about my wife going and finding somebody else. My wife is not worried about me going and finding somebody else. But like, there's been times where like I've had to stay over at work for 30 minutes or an hour, or even sometimes an hour and a half, just depending on what's going on, right? Because I'm also a supervisor. So like, when shit happens with my people, they'll be like, hey, I need to talk to you because I have XYZ coming up. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's talk about it. And sometimes they're a lot more divulging of information than average. Like, they don't just say, hey, I have some stuff and I need XYZ. Sometimes like they divulge everything that's going on because they just need somebody to vent to, So I'm there and I listen. I remember one time it was when I was having to work till 11 p.m. and a guy came in to relieve me to take over shift. And he was like, hey, I need to talk to you. And he started divulging. And like, I looked down at my clock and I was like, dude, it's 12:30. I was like, hey, I hate to cut this short. I was like, if you want to continue talking about this, I'm more than happy, but we cannot continue to do it tonight. Like, I need to get home. I have to be back at work at 7 a.m. tomorrow. We can plan to do this another day. Like, we're both off. I was like, we can go get a coffee, or, we can meet up somewhere publicly and I will listen more. And he was like, no, it's cool. Get home. I get it. Have a good night. And as I'm like running out to my car, I'm like texting Amber. I'm like, hey, sorry, I'm late. So-and-so had to talk to me about XYZ. I'm on my way home right now. And now granted, she's dead asleep at home because it's fucking midnight, 12:30, right? She's got work in the morning. She's dead asleep. But I don't want her in the morning waking up and seeing the notification from our outside camera that I didn't get home till 1 a.m. And she's like, what the fuck was she doing? Like, why wasn't she getting home till 1 a.m.? Now, granted, she knows, like, I'm not going to go and cheat. Like, we're very, like, if there's one thing that I'm the proudest thing of my marriage for, it's that we are very secure in our relationship, right? So she knows I'm not gonna go do that, but just to prevent that potential
Yeah.
idea populating in her head, I text her and let her know, "Hey,
Right.
so and so needed to talk to me. You know, he's got some personal stuff going on. I'm running late. I'm just now leaving. I'm getting in the car right now. I love you. You know, I'll have a good day at work tomorrow. I'll try not to wake you up when I crawl into bed at 1 a.m." Yeah, just because I don't want the idea populating.
I think people lie to themselves when they say, "Oh, you should never even have the idea." You can't. I think that's human nature. I
It
don't know
is.
why, but it's the first, like, for some odd reason, like, my wife is in charge of her area, and so she has stayed late, and I don't think nothing of it. But there was one time that she stayed, I think she was like 2 hours late, and I didn't hear nothing. I didn't nothing, and I didn't think nothing of it. But the thought, like, it just hit real quick, and was like, no. I was like, okay, that was stupid.
See, my
But
thing too is
it
like
was
I
still
don't want.
there.
Yeah, see, like my thing, like my wife's a worrier, right? Like we have each other's locations. So like on days that I'm off and she's going to work, she leaves for work at like 4 something in the morning. It's pitch black. There's gators on the road, you know. So if I don't have a text message from her saying that she made it to work safe, like first thing I do when I wake up, I'll go check her location. I'm like, okay, cool. She made it to work. And I'll text her, hey, honey, I see you made it to work. I'm so glad. I love you. Have a great day. You know, I'll see you when you
And
get
a lot
home.
of people and a lot of people don't like we have Life 360. I don't know if that's what you use, but we have Life 360.
We used
And a
to, yeah.
lot of and a lot of people think that if you have Life 360, you don't trust your partner. And it has nothing to do, like, my wife,
Mm-mm.
it's more of a worried thing. And it's actually
Yeah.
worked because I got into a car accident one time, and Life 360 actually sent you a notification saying there was an accident. And so it sent Sonia a notification, and she freaked the fuck out. But I was working night shift and I got into an accident. So I hit a cow, like an actual
Me too.
cow.
I've done that.
Yeah. Totaled my boss's car. Like, I fucked it up. But I
Yeah.
hit a cow. But Life 360 said, "Hey, there was an accident." Boom. And she freaked out. And that's why we have Life 360. I used to ride motorcycles. I sold mine, so I don't have it anymore. But I rode for years, and I used to go on trips with motorcycles, like long, like across America trips. And she was really worried about it all the time. So we got Life 360, and now we just use it to, like, did you make it to work okay? Are you on your way home? And it's not, are you on your way home so I can get the fucking girl out? No, I use it for, are you on your way home? Okay, I can start dinner now.
No. Yep. Yep.
She'll get home,
Yeah.
dinner will be ready. So it has nothing to do with cheating or anything. It has to do with, it's really convenient knowing, okay, you made it to work okay. You're almost home. I could start dinner. Like, if I'm playing video games, okay, I got to stop playing video games and, like, start cleaning up a little bit. So it's not
Yeah.
so bad when
Yeah.
she gets home.
And my wife has used it for like same scenario. It happened to be a day that she was off and I ended up having to stay late at work again, which being a supervisor, all the supervisors know there's days you have to stay late, you know, because stuff happens or somebody has a flat on the way to work. So now they're 30, 40 minutes late for work or, uh, they got into an accident on the way to work and so maybe it's a quick little incident that's they're only going to be 30, 40 minutes late or maybe it's a full blown and they're like, hey, I'm not coming in, I'm headed to the ER right now, like I'm in the ambulance. And now you're like, okay, well now I have to stay until I find somebody else to come cover it. So there's times, right, where you have to end up staying late for work and she's gotten on there and texted me and been like, hey, why are you still at work, like it's an hour past your get off time. And I was like, so and so is running late. They had a flat, so I'm here until they get here. Sorry. It is what it is, kind of thing. So I think it has its conveniences. I think us as humans, we've just kind of ruined it to where now it's that sneaky trying to see where you're at or the overprotective or whatever, and I don't think that's what it was designed for.
I think men are naturally overprotective, hence the gender roles. And I think that's we had to be from, like, way back in the day. we protected women in caveman times. Like that was our job. So to be overprotective, and not to mention when it comes to like women say that, oh, you're insecure. No, men know other men. And as much as you'd like to think that there might be Skittles and Rainbow society, there's bad men out there. There's rotten men. And when we say don't hang out with men, it's not because we're insecure or we're jealous or what. It's we don't, especially a man that we haven't met. Like if you have a friend that you've had for years and he's been my best friend and nothing, just so you know, all women out there, all straight women, if you have a best friend, he will fuck you if you gave him the chance. I hate hearing women sit there and go, oh, he's my best friend. He'd never do anything like that. When Sonia and I got married, just before we got married, she gets along with men so much better. She had like 6 or 7 guy friends that were her best friend. And, she hung out with the guys. She was one of the guys, the whole 9 yards. And I was not comfortable with her hanging out with guys without me. And she's like, oh, they'd never do anything. They don't even think of me like that. I'm like, yeah, they do. They all want to fuck you. And she was like, no, they don't. So I was like, I can prove this. Easy. They all know I'm dating you, right? Yeah, I've told them all. They all know I'm with somebody. Okay, text them right now. Hey, Damian's gone. I'm lonely. Can you keep me company? Winky face. Every one of them, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And these were her friends that she's had for, years. They thought of her like a sister. Apparently, a lot of them will fuck their sister because they would have made the 10-mile drive in 5 seconds. You do, women, you do not have friends. You have friends, but don't think they wouldn't fuck you if you gave them the chance. They will. End of discussion. Like, men do not have female friends they won't fuck. That's not, like, there's rarities. Like, I'm not saying this 100% all men are like this. The majority, I will say 95% of men do not have female friends they would not fuck. End of discussion. Sorry. So,
And it's usually the guy friends that the women friend zone because they don't meet their standard, right? Like, oh, he's got a little bit of a tummy, so I can't date him. I would never do that. I love him and I want a guy that's just like him, but who's just not him. We hear that all the time. I've heard that so many times. Like, oh, I love him. He's the greatest best friend ever. Like, he's awesome. I want a guy just like him.
Yeah. You want your potential husband? Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
Yeah. If you're single and you're like, oh, I can't find a guy, guess where your guy is? He's in the fucking friend zone that you put him in. That's your husband. He's the friend zone guy. If you cry and call him, if you divulge all your secrets, if he is your rock, if he's the one that always comes over and supports you, girls, that's your husband. You just have him in the friend zone where he doesn't belong. He may have a little bit of a belly. Get over it. He may not be the best looking guy. Guess what? You're probably not the best looking girl. Like, you're looking for that 9 and he might be a 5 or a 6, but he has a job and he's a good friend. You got to lower your standards a little bit.
I just think lower your standards, right? Like, I think men and women should both have standards, right? Like, I think you should have standards, but I think you should be open to people that you already have a connection with, right? Because your spouse is supposed to be your best friend. You're going to do all those things with them. You're going to divulge your deepest, darkest secrets. You're going to need a shoulder to cry on. You're going to need someone to confide in. You're going to need somebody who supports you in all your decisions and everything that you want to do. And if you already have a guy that's doing that for you and you're a straight female, but he's funny, he's decently looking, whatever, right? Why not give him the chance? Because I'm going to tell you right now, he'll give you the chance. If you gave him the time of day, he would treat you like the princess that you think you are. He's going to go.
Yes.
He's going to go the whole mile to make sure that that
Yeah.
first date is the best first date you've ever been on, because he already knows your favorite foods, your favorite restaurants, your favorite
Yep.
drinks, what kind of flowers you like, what kind of chocolates you like. Oh, she hates chocolate, but she loves this. He's going to know your coffee order. He's going to know everything. And he's going to take that and he's going to wrap it all in together to make the perfect
Yep.
date for you where you are
Yep.
fully satisfied in that. Now, there
Because
might be stuff that
we,
goes wrong, right? Like compatibility is a thing. So maybe at the end of it, and this is if you're giving it the old college try, right? You're 100% devoted to being open to it. There is a chance that you may not be compatible in certain ways, right? There is. It's possible. Okay.
it's possible, but
You
if he's
you
already in
could
the,
you it's already in the works. You guys already have chemistry.
yeah,
I'm talking like
yeah,
intimacy, like the hand may not fit in the glove, right? Something might be wrong.
yeah,
That's a potential. But that's also stuff that can potentially be worked on,
yes.
right? Not
He
everybody's
may not,
great in that department.
right. Some guys need a little good bit of coaching. It's fine. Like, we're not perfect. We don't know women. Just so you know, women, we don't know you. Like, every one of you are different.
Yeah. So, you know, and if that's something you're willing to work on, why not work on it? And look at that. Now you have the perfect man, the man of your dreams that you've been looking for, someone that does all of those things for you.
Yeah.
And maybe he doesn't
Checks
have
up.
the greatest, maybe he doesn't have the greatest paying job right now, right? Like if he's a young dude, he's 20, 21, maybe he doesn't have the greatest paying job, but he's 20 and 21. Like 21 or 20-year-old has the greatest paying job, especially if they're like just
No.
getting out of high school and they're not going to college and but if you support him and you become a team, you can make it to where he gets to that great paying job by
Yes.
being that support system, being that rock for him, being his peace. You both can get there together,
Yes.
right? Like you gotta build each other up, not tear each other down. And
Right.
that's part of those gender
No.
roles. Like that's your job, is to help him, support him, and build him up. Don't let him slack off
Yeah.
and come home from work and
Yeah.
only let him play video games or only let him watch TV or only let him do absolutely nothing. Like if you guys have talked and you guys have a goal and one of his goals is to get that good paying job, guess what? That's where you step in and you say, "Hey, we've talked about this. We have a goal and we agreed on this goal. So let's do it. Let's make it happen. If it's going to college and getting the degree, let's make it happen. Let's work it out. If it's going to vocational training so you can learn a trade or become better certified in your trade, because those are options, right? Then let's do it. Let's look into the programs. Let's get you there. Let's find a way."
Yes. The old saying is true. Behind every great man, there's a great woman.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you do have the exceptions, like, but a good woman can make a great man or break him. Like, women can make or break a man. With it, I firmly believe I'm probably better now because of my wife than I ever was. I mean, I make more money now and I have more stuff now and I have a better life now. I mean, I've been married 3 times. This is my 3rd marriage. My first marriage, I was young and stupid, did a lot of things wrong. My second marriage, there was a lot of problems there, and I wasn't perfect. I'm not ever going to say I was. My wife now has done more for my self-esteem, my picking me up, putting the pieces back together. She has built me more than anybody I ever know. And the only reason I am sitting here in a gorgeous house with money, with this setup, with everything I have, I owe almost all of it to her. She didn't make the money. She didn't buy me any of this stuff. She didn't do any of the physical stuff, but she fixed what was broken about me for me to get here. So I owe her everything. And not only is she my best friend, she is absolutely 100% my best friend. She is my wife and she is my rock and I love her more than life itself. I am sitting here the way I am now because of her. And she could have easily broke me. The other two did. Yeah, my second marriage, she completely took away everything I had. I was broke. I was nothing after her. She completely crushed me. So yeah, women can make or break a man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I think it applies to even like my relationship, right? With two women. I don't know if you can see it in the background, but my degree is right back there. Okay. My wife made that possible. Like, yes, it was my GI Bill that paid for it. Yes, it was me doing the work and everything, right? It was me staying up late and writing the essays and doing the discussions and doing all the things that I needed to do. But my wife is the one that made that possible for me. She allowed me to have that time to where I didn't have to worry about the house. I didn't have to worry about anything in our home and with our family. I could solely dedicate my time and my effort to my degree, right? And even now with the podcast, she does the same thing. And she's in college right now. She's in college. She's working on her degree. I got to graduate summa cum laude, which I didn't know was a thing until I seen it on my degree, which is like top 5% of the graduating class. You know, my wife made that possible for me. And now I get to return the favor because she's in college. So I get to make sure that she is allotted the time to do what she needs to do to excel in school and get her degree. And she's also helped to make this podcast a reality, make sure that things are in order and that our family understands, hey, this is very important. This is something that she wants to do. It's extremely important to her. Yes, it may not go anywhere. Yes, it may take off. We don't know, but it's something that's important to her, and it's something that she really wants to do. So we're gonna make this work. We're gonna make it
Yeah.
happen.
So click and subscribe. Click and subscribe, everybody.
Yeah, so yeah, and I think it plays into both parts. It plays into heterosexual relationships and it plays into homosexual relationships, or any kind of relationship. Like, you have
Right.
to be that person. You have to be that rock, and honest to God, I wouldn't want to be going through any of this without her by my side. Like, I probably wouldn't be doing this if I was still single, right? I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. I probably would have given up on school like halfway through it because I really just had zero. Even when I was in the military, I was not extremely motivated to go to college. But the hope was is that degree would help out and allow me to get a better paying job and allow me to expand. And unfortunately, with the location that we're at, I just don't have those opportunities. But um, and now I've got advisors reaching out about master's programs, and they're like, "When are you going to start the program?" And I'm like, "Sorry, I gotta support my wife right now. She's working on her degree.
Yeah.
My sole focus right now is making sure that she accomplishes that. When she's tired and she, doesn't have the energy for it, I'm like, "Hey, that's due today. Like, I know you're tired. I know you're sleepy, but let's get this done. I'll help you out. I'll be the support that
See,
you
and
need to get it done."
yeah. Yeah. And when it comes to traditional, yes, I believe in a lot of traditional gender roles, but I do believe in progress, and I would never look at my wife. If my wife looked at me and said, "Hey, I want to go back to school and I want to quit. I want to go back to school," I would have no problem picking up the slack. Like that's what I would do. I would work extra hours. I'd make sure, I'd come home after a long day and still do laundry or what. I would figure out a way to give her the time. And when I get my son during the summertime, I'd figure that out. Now, I'm blessed in the fact that if I don't work, I still make more money than most people. Like my retirement, my disability, I make a lot of money that way. So pretty much my job is, play money. So I'd be able to figure out how to make it work. And I understand not everybody does. Not everybody has the money income I do. But if you have two people with the same goal, even if they believe in gender roles or whatnot, I do believe you can step out of that role. I step out of it every summer, but I'm still very much the man of the house. Like when decisions come down, I still like I don't ever I've never had to override my wife. Like we've never had a discussion, but I do believe, and she believes this too, that if we ever get to a place where we want two different things and we argue both our points and it involves money in the house and something, I am the final authority. I will say, this is what we're doing. I've heard your side. I've heard my side. I know both. This is what we're doing. And she will be like, okay. So, and I know a lot of people think that's chauvinistic or, you're a boomer, which I'm not even close to being a boomer, but the boomer insult. But I do believe that without that responsibility, I think men have gotten worse. And I don't think men are getting better with this progressive way of thinking. I think you're hurting men. Telling men that they're terrible, telling men that they're the cause of all the problems. They're this, and beating men down. That's why Jordan Peterson and all these podcasts that all you feminists hate so much. That's why they're so popular right now. Men are screaming for somebody to lift them up again, to be the men they were supposed to be. And I think women need to let men be men. Let them do what they are good at. I mean, we are great at certain things. Let us be that. Be supportive. Do the woman role and support the men at being better men. Men have gotten worse. Like, it's not like this is all the women sit there and say that how men have gotten worse in 2025. There's no good men anymore. They're terrible. It's because the women are taking over the masculine. They're not leading men to make them better. And yes, it is a woman's job to make a man better. There are certain things that men can only teach men, like your father teaches a boy. But without good women, young men, boys and young teenage boys, they lose something. And it's very important. And that's something only a good woman can teach. So that's why I believe so much in gender roles.
And I think I don't know, I think it's hard in today's society because there's not a lot of those single income families anymore, right? Like, we looked it up today. It's not very high for single income families. A lot of households are dual income. The husband and the wife are working. And I think what women are having a hard time with, and some men are lacking in, is that the husband and the wife both go to work. Okay. We'll say, for this example, they both work 8-hour days and they come home. So they've both gone to work. They've both worked their 8-hour jobs. And I don't care if your job is more physically demanding, more mentally demanding, or a mix of both. I don't care. Every job is exhausting to an extent, right? If it's more physically demanding, you're physically tired. If your job is more mentally engaging, you're mentally drained by the time you come home, right? So either way, both husband and wife are coming home and they're drained from the day. They're exhausted. And I think the issue we're running to is the woman is still coming home from her 8-hour job, and she's expected to cook dinner, clean up the dishes, and get the kids down for bed, bath time, the whole 9 yards. And the husband is just free to go do whatever he wants. He can go
Do you
crack
think
the
that's
beer open, sit on his computer, or go sit behind the TV and watch Monday Night Live. Like, he is not expected to help, even though his wife just worked an 8-hour day just like he did. It all falls on her, and I think that's unfair. And I think
why do you think that?
that's where
Does that come from? I guess I don't see it because it's not me, and none of my friends do that. Like, none of my male friends, I don't have many of them. I only got like 2, but none of my male friends do that. Like, where does
that's what a lot
where
of the
does that
conversations
stereotype?
a lot of the conversations on TikTok that I watch is it's women complaining that, they're going to work and they're working 8-hour days and they're still expected to cook dinner, do the dishes, and put the kids down for bed, and the husband is not. He gets to do whatever he wants because he had a hard day at work. Well, so did she. So I think that's
I
where
mean,
a lot of our issues are coming into, is that because we have a lot more dual income households and they have families and stuff, some men are not picking up the slack. Like, I think if you're a full-time working husband and wife and you both are working 8-hour days, or even if it's 10-hour days or 12-hour days, whatever the case may be, and you guys are both coming home, the whole household should not be put on the wife. She also worked. But on the same
no,
token, it should not all fall onto the husband. It should be equal.
no,
It should be
no.
equal. If she's cooking dinner, he can clean up the dishes. If she's doing bath time with the kids, he can put the kids down to bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On the weekends, if they're both off, it shouldn't be just the wife who's doing all of the work of taking care of the kids and cleaning the house and doing all the thing. Like if they work Monday through Friday and they're both off on Saturday, Sunday, and people talk about like, oh, well, the men have to mow the lawns and they have to take care of the cars and they have to take care of the house. Okay, I mow the lawn. I mow the lawn every other weekend. Your car only has to go get an oil change every 10th. So you're not going to tell me that every weekend you are having to mow the lawn and take your car for an oil change and have to go get the tires rotated and you got to fix the leaky sink. Like, there's no way you can convince me and tell me that that's every single weekend, because it's not.
No, it's not. And I don't believe in that at all. Like in this society now, I believe that we should have single income households, but that ship has sailed. I believe that's what feminists have destroyed. The prices have gone up. I hate single income families. Oh, no, I love single income families. I think we should have that again, but it's never going to come back. I get it. We're dual income now. That's just the way life is. With that, so when both, see, it's hard because my wife and I, she works a 12-hour day. I got off at 2:30, got home at 3:30 today. So I'm home way before her. Now today, when she gets home, I'm going to get off the podcast. I'm going to run and make sure the house is picked up. I don't have to worry about dinner today because today's a fasting day. But normally, yes, I would run out and I'd figure out something to cook. But we trade off, like when something has to be done in the house, if we both get home at the same time, we both get home. Hey, honey, if you switch the laundry and get that, I'll get the dishes and I'll do, like, we divide and conquer.
You work as a team. Yeah, a team.
We work as a team. We divide and conquer. Hey, if you get that, I'll get this. Boom, boom. Many hands make light work. You know, the old saying. We divide and conquer. We get the house done, and then we both sit down. I would feel like a piece of shit if we both got home and I sat my ass on the couch while she ran around and did everything. I'd feel like crap. I don't know how men can do that. How you could be married, come home, both of you come home at the same time, and your ass sits on the couch with a beer and watches your wife put the laundry away, make dinner, take care of the kids, and do while you're sitting on the couch. You picked the wrong man. And once again, a good woman would not allow that to happen. That is not how a man is supposed to act. He is supposed to, once again, support you. You know, if she's making dinner, make sure the kids are taken care of. It's not that hard. You know, I'm sorry, taking care of kids, it's not physically hard. It's mentally draining, but I think it would be easier if we went back to taking care of kids the way I was taken care of. Nowadays, kids are kind of, you know,
Nowadays,
they
parents
run
aren't
amok
raising
now.
their kids. Daycares are. Strangers are raising their kids.
That and parents are way more concerned about being their kids' friends. My son is not well, since he's autistic, doesn't count. But if he was normal, my son is not my friend. He's my son. My job is to raise him into a man. Well, I'm not there to make sure he's happy 24/7. If your kids do not say, I hate you once in their life, you are failed as a parent because you're going to do something discipline-wise that your kids are. Every kid has looked at their mom or dad, I hate you. Every kid has, because they know what's best for their kid. And right now, discipline is best, and you're not going to like it. One of your kids are in trouble. I'm sure he doesn't like being grounded. I'm sure he hates that. But as a parent, this is, you fucked up. This is what happens. Consequences. Kids are not being taught consequences anymore. You could see it on every freaking podcast. You see it at the Walmart. Kids are not taught consequences. And both parents need to do that. And if you're a man and you sit down, you're a piece of shit man. And if you're a woman and you put up with that, now I firmly do not believe in withholding sex as a punishment. I think any marriage that uses sex as a punishment or an incentive, like, hey, if you do this for me, I'll give you a little later. No, if you use incentive or sex as incentive or punishment, your marriage is doomed to fail.
So whose job is it in the gender roles? Whose job is it to initiate?
Shit.
Does it have a primary role, like in a male and female relationship? Is it primarily the men?
I don't think so.
female, or is it equal?
I don't think so, because for most men primarily initiate, because all growing up, we're taught that women don't like sex. We're taught that. That's what we're like. Women only do it for you. That's what we're taught. But there is something, this goes along with building your man up. If you ask for sex, like if you take charge and you initiate sex, that is such a libido boost for us, because all our libido, everything we are, is in desire. Like, our love language is different. Our love language is sex. Women's love language is completely different than men, aside from a couple exceptions, but for the most part, we want to feel like we are still, the man. We're still desired. We're still wanted. And so when women initiate it, it gives us a sense of like, yeah, I'm still the man. I can still throw it down. Like, that's what it is. And I know for my wife, she has mentioned that if I go too long without initiating it, she feels like I don't desire her. So women want to be desired too. Now, don't go weeks of him asking and saying no, because now his libido is shot because you don't want to have sex with him. But who initiates it? I think both couples should be cognitive of who's been doing it lately. Like, if you're sitting there going, we've had sex like, quite a few times the past couple of weeks, and he's initiated every one, be cognitive of, okay, maybe the next couple times, and don't say, okay, next week is too long. I've always said that, if you go weeks or months without sex, there's a different problem, but don't say next week. So, okay, like, we haven't had sex today or yesterday, so tonight or tomorrow, I'll initiate it. And if you're not, like, if he's at work and you're home and you're going to initiate it and you just don't feel like it, like, do something to put yourself in the mood. I know women can put themselves in the mood. Like, take a bath, put on some music, watch a sexy movie, read a sexy book, do something that, so when he walks in the door, you're kind of raring to go.
Yeah.
In the mood, So
I agree
I
to an
think that one should
extent.
be equal. That one should be equal.
I agree. I think it should be equal. I think both parties should have to work at keeping the romance alive, right? Keeping that
Yes.
spark and keeping the spark from dying out, right? I think both should do it. And I think it should also be a conversation that the two parties should have, right? Because men are stimulated and aroused much different than women, right? Women are like the
Yes.
diesel. It's got to warm up, right? You got to let the glow plugs get warm, then you can start it, and you got to kind of let the engine get going. Whereas men are like a gas engine. You put the key in, you turn it on, we're ready to go. We're rocking and rolling. So you got to know what your partner likes and how they like to be initiated, right? I heard about this on a podcast, all about how, like, everybody has different initiation styles, just like they have different love languages. So you got to know how your partner likes to be initiated, right? If you know your husband is really big into, like, every anniversary, he's buying you sexy lingerie. He's obviously giving you a clue. Hey, I like it when you wear lingerie. Even though it's going to come off in 5 seconds, I still like it. It's still attractive to look at. So do something with that. One night, hey honey, can you take the kids to bath, and then can you put them to bed, and I'm going to be waiting in the bedroom with your favorite gift that you got me. So he's like, "Oh." And if he's a smart man, he's like, "Oh, okay. I got you." And she goes in, she takes her quick shower, she puts on her lingerie, and she's waiting in bed for him. Boom, initiation done. And it wasn't even that much work, right? If you know that your wife does not like for you to come up and honk on her breasts and play with her butt and be like, "Hey, honey, how you feeling?" If you know that you've got to know from that, that's not how she likes to be initiated. Maybe her style of initiation is, "Hey, honey, I'm going to put the dishes away. I'm going to put leftovers away. I want you to go pull out your favorite book and get in the bath, and I'll come and see you in a little while when I'm done with this." That can be an initiation style. And all it takes you doing is saying it, and saying it in maybe like a sexy, get your voice real low kind of thing. Because maybe she's attracted to that, right? You do it in a way that's appealing to her. And then she's going to be so thankful because now she's not stressed about having to do the dishes. So she's going to be more relaxed. there's little things that you can do where you don't have to put a whole, like, it's not this big presentation. You know what I mean? There's ways to go about it. You just got to know what your partner likes.
I have learned that I would say the majority of women, I'd say 99.9% of women, they're in the mood with thought, and men 99% are in the mood with visuals. So if you can relieve enough stress for your wife, if you can take away as much burden that's on her shoulders, her sex drive will go up. Like when my wife comes home, if she has nothing to do, like the dishes, the counters, I got nothing to do. Well, the only thing left to do now is me. I took away everything. And men need to realize it's not that hard. It's not that hard to get a woman aroused. Just make her feel loved and do the chores. I mean, take some stuff off her plate because women seem to not want to have sex when they're mentally busy. When I had a long day, I have to deal with the kids, I got to do this. If they're thinking of all that stuff, the last thing in that row of stuff thinking about is putting a dick in her mouth. That's so far gone, it's not even funny. So you have to chop away that line of thought to get to where the only thing she has to think about is taking care of her husband. And it's not that hard. And I don't understand why I try to defend men so much. And we are stupid on so many things. And that is one of them. How to get a woman in the mood is not that difficult. It doesn't take that much work. Now, aside from the girls that are very materialistic, those women, that's something different. Those are high maintenance girls. That's a whole different story. But for most wives, and correct me if I'm wrong, all the wives out there, most wives, I think, as long as you pull your weight and show that you care, not necessarily towards her, but care about her well-being, about the house. The kids are taken care of. These things are taken care of. She doesn't have to worry about, especially when she was like, oh, I got the dish. I gotta take the dishes out. It's already done. Well, we still have laundry. Nope, that's all done. It's folded, it's put away. Once you start chopping away the stress, women are a lot more willing to relieve your stress in the way you want it relieved. Because we relieve stress by sex. That's what most men do. Like every straight woman that I know, after sex is done, their men is jello. Like they're just okay. All the running joke is titties. Titties fix everything for men. You had a bad day, titties. Show them titties. You had a buddy die, titties. You had a bad day at work, they fix everything. But men are visual.
Yeah, and women, I mean, some women are, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that all women are not, because there's some that are. So I would say majority of women, it's that stress thing. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's all these list of things that they've got to do the second they get off work, right? They've had a really hard day at work and it was just the worst day possible for her. And now she comes home and she's got to do the dinner, pick up dinner, take care of the kids, get the kids down for bed, give them baths, do nighttime stories, the whole 9 yards. So then by the time she crawls into bed, it's 10 o'clock and she's like, I still need to shower. I need to get my stuff for work ready tomorrow. Oh my God, I have this work email that I was supposed to send like 3 hours ago. Fuck, man. So then she does her work stuff. And now it's like 11 o'clock and she's like, I just want to go to bed. But if you took some of that off of her plate,
yeah,
you might have time for it now. You might have time for it. And you gotta work on it. Like, I mean, I hear a lot of the podcasts and a lot of these, sex therapists and relationship therapists and stuff, and they don't talk about kids a whole lot. Kids, I think, in couples, whether you're straight or gay, kids are a lot of that stress because the last people that you're thinking about are yourselves, right? I've seen it in my marriage where we put all of our focus on the kids, where we're not, I needed new bras. I wasn't buying new bras because I had to pay for all the kids' stuff, or I really needed new tires on my car, and I'm like, oh, I just don't have the money. So I'm gonna have to put it on the credit card. Oh, that's another bill. Like kids eat up a lot of that focus. So then when you do get that, you just want to enjoy and engulf yourself in that. And sometimes sex is the last thing on your mind when you get to that point. You know, you just want to zone out and put on a TV show that's unimportant, and you guys are just laying in bed together, and you're like, this is so nice. Like we're about to have 5 minutes together of chill time before we have to go to bed now. And then, that can turn into a couple of days, a couple of weeks, and sometimes it can potentially reach months. And then by that point, you're so engulfed in this like always going, 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 and putting everybody else's needs above your own that before you know it, you're like, shit, like we haven't done anything in months. We should probably work on that. And then you work on it, and it's crazy how fast it comes back. But you have to work on it. Like there's weekends where like I'll put the kids down to bed early. I'm like, hey, everybody's in bed by 8 o'clock. But it's the weekend. I don't care. You're in bed by 8 o'clock. Lights out, no cell phones, no electronics, no nothing. 8 o'clock. Because then I know at 8 o'clock, the house is quiet. Amber and I can go watch our TV for a little while, and then we can go do whatever we want. So you gotta find ways.
Yeah, the kid one, I don't understand as much because I've been the stay-at-home dad, and I know lots of women that, I've just dealt with the kids all day long. I deal with kids all day long when I'm the stay-at-home dad, and when my wife comes home, I'm still horny as hell. I don't care if I've had to clean up puke 3 times, which I have. I don't care if I've had to wipe 20 butts, which I've changed many diapers. So that one I don't understand. I don't know how. I will honestly say this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. That one I don't understand. I've been the stay-at-home dad. I've done the complete like housewife job. It's not that hard. You have a job. That's totally different. But for people that don't have a job and they're the stay-at-home mom, and they use that, I've just dealt with the kids all day long, I don't feel like doing anything. I don't understand that at all. Like I've done it. I'm still horny when she gets home. I'll put the kids down, whatnot. I'm still raring to go. I guess
maybe
guys
that's just the
and
big difference between, I think that's just the big difference between men and women, right? Stress is different for men and women, right? Like you might have been stressed at home with the kids, and cleaning up throw up. And maybe that doesn't affect that part of the brain for you, but for women, it does. It does.
I guess I don't find being a stay-at-home parent. I'll say stay-at-home parent so I can cover men and women and stop saying stay-at-home dad. Stay-at-home parent. It was the easiest job I ever had in my entire life. It is not that difficult. I could be a stay-at-home dad, stay-at-home parent, and all the laundry, the house is clean, everything's done, dinner's on the table, the kids are taken care of, and I still have time for video. Like it is literally the easiest, especially if you have kids that go to school. Like, what the fuck are you doing all day? It's not like you're going down to the river and washing clothes anymore. Everything is automated. In 2025, being a stay-at-home parent is the easiest fucking thing in the world. If anybody wants to argue with, I got receipts. This is Beyonce. Your washing machine is one button. You throw the clothes in there, hit on. You might have to hit cold or hot. You throw a pot in there, hit on. The washing machine does it. Dishwashers, you put the dishes in, hit on. Especially if you have like automated stuff, like an automatic iRobot vacuum or some crap like that. But even if you don't, vacuuming, we have a 2,000 square foot house. Doesn't take that long to vacuum the whole house. You're not deep cleaning a house every day. So as long as you keep it somewhat picked up, and I've heard from people say that, it's because I have kids. I have a severely autistic 18-year-old son who has the mental capacity of a 2-year-old. So take your 2-year-old, give them the strength of an adult. So like when that 2-year-old pulls on something, he can't hurt it. He or she can't hurt it. My 18-year-old has the strength of an 18-year-old adult. So if he wants something, he's going to get it, whether you like it or not. He's made messes. I have a dog. I got cats. I think it's time management. So for all the adults out there that that don't have time throughout the day, that are the stay-at-home parents, your time management sucks. And maybe you need to be taught time management. It could be that simple. But and you're not doing laundry every day. Like when my son is here, I do laundry pretty much every day. But as long as I keep up with it, The washing machine does it. The dryer does it. I'm not hanging clothes outside anymore. Now, if you're living in a cabin out in the woods and you're scrubbing clothes and hanging them outside, okay, maybe then I see. But you're not going out and butchering the cow or cutting the head off the chicken and making dinner that way. You're not growing beans out in the backyard. Like, everything's at the store. Load up the kids, go to the store, pick up what you need, come home. It doesn't take that long. I mean, unless you live in the rural area that Walmart or the grocery store is an hour away. But I did a TikTok and it kind of blew up when I mentioned that. And I had a lot of people that hated me. And then I had it seemed like a lot of guys got on there and said, I was a single dad. It was fucking easy. So I don't know if what's the difference? What's the disconnect between men and women, that women think that it's so hard and men, like, being a stay-at-home parent is stupid simple for us. But I've never met a stay-at-home dad that doesn't think it's the easiest thing in the world. Compared to like coal-working, military, or half the jobs I've had, it's simple. I can do it in my sleep. I have. So, I don't know if that offends you or what, but
No,
I think it was easy.
Look, I've always told my wife, if you start making six figures, I'm not working full time anymore. I will be a stay-at-home mom. I will be the stay-at-home wife. And I do it sometimes
So
now.
whoever
like,
makes the six figures, if you made the six figures, would she go to work?
No.
If you made amount of money,
if I could afford right now for my wife to not work, I would. If a job popped up on my email right now and it was like, you'll make six figures right now, apply.
$5 million
We want
a year.
you. I would do it in a heartbeat. And I'd tell my wife, go quit your job right now. No 2-week notice, no nothing.
Okay.
Quit your job.
And this will tell me what gender role you're in. Would you prefer that job come to, like, if you had a choice between your wife or you getting that $500,000 job, would you prefer her to stay home and you be the breadwinner, or would you want her to do it?
Me being who I am, I would want it.
Yeah.
Knowing my wife's history, I would offer it to her.
I'm just talking about your feelings. You fell into the male gender because all men would want to be like, if it was up to men, I'd make 500. If it was up to me, I'd make 500,000 a year, and my wife would be in the kitchen in a 50s dress, baking an apple pie. So when I got home, that would be, most men would want that. Most men like that. They just want, and my wife looks great in a 50s outfit. I would want that. I'm not saying, barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, but barefoot in the kitchen in a 50s dress is definitely, it's definitely something I think men like. And that's a gender role. And I think you definitely fall into the male traditional gender role. You want to be the breadwinner. You want to come home. If you came home from work, walked in the door, and she just pulled out enchiladas, the house is clean. Yeah. Don't tell me. You'd be like, yeah, that's the fucking ticket right there.
Yeah, I would love it.
I'll work all day long for that.
But also I love it because I know there's things that my wife wants to do. She has hobbies that we just can't support right now because we both work. She has stuff that she wants to do. And I would love to be able to give her those opportunities to do them and not have to think about, how are we going to pay this bill this month? How are we going to pay this bill this month? So I would love to do that. I would love to do that, right? The only hobby that I have that's like that is the podcast right now, right? None of my hobbies are anything that like are determined by how much money we make or don't make, right? Like my video games, that's one of my hobbies. I enjoy it.
Guns.
I'm pretty happy with the amount of guns that I have right now. I don't need every single gun in the world. I don't need every single model, style. No, I don't need all that. I have what I want. And I use what I want.
I need this whole wall full.
See, I don't have that desire. I want what I need for what hobbies I enjoy with guns, and that's it. I don't need the extravaganza, right? I'm very simple when it comes to that.
Both?
Yes, I would love to be able to provide so that she can do those things because it's something that she's passionate about. It's something that she really enjoys. And I hate that she's had to be taken away from it. So yes, I would love that. I would love it. Right. And she's a pretty amazing cook when she cooks. It's pretty stellar. So I would love it. But knowing what I know about my wife, I would not be mad if she got an email right now that said she could make $500K a year. I would not be mad. I would not feel lesser as a partner, right? I'd get to take my
I think
I'd
men
get to
would.
take I'd get to, take my kids to and from school every day. I'd get to spend more time with them when they get home. In the long run, I'd get to spend more time with my wife in the end. We'd get to do family vacations once a year, twice a year together. I'd get more of the stuff that I crave and I love because our money
Yeah.
situation would be different. I would not be like, "Oh my gosh, I don't contribute to this family." No, that would not. Bro, our house would be cleaned on the regular. My kids would still have chores. Right? The kids would still have chores, but my house would be clean on the regular.
Discipline.
Food would be waiting on the table for when she came home from work. She wouldn't be touching those dishes. She'd get to sit down, decompress, eat her meal, go do what she needs to do,
Yeah.
and just relax.
I think that's the female part of you. Since you took on the masculine, I think there's a big part of you because I think most men feel demasculated if they are the permanent. Like I only am the stay-at-home dad for 3 months out of the year when I get my son. So I don't know if I could do it full time.
Oh yeah,
I would
you ask.
feel like if
I heard it on a. Go ahead.
I have to work. Like I feel like I have to provide. And I think that's a feeling that men have, that we feel like not men, like something's been taken away if we're not providing. Like I know lots
But
of
can't you
on
provide in
podcasts and
other
stuff I've
ways?
heard, it's not the same. It is, but it's not. It's that male lizard brain that thinks that I need to take care of this female. And yes, females can do it all now, but men just have this feeling that they need to provide. They need to provide, protect. They need to do this. And if you take that away completely, men have a hard time with it. They die earlier. Well, men already die earlier, but we just feel like we've lost something about ourselves. I don't want to say any man that is okay with it has too much of a feminine side, but I don't know any man's man that is okay with the wife making more money than him. It bothers us, and whether that's right or wrong, whether that's toxic masculinity or however you want to put it, I think we are wired that it's just going to bother us. Yeah, we're just wired that way, and that's like you can. And I don't think 2025 progressive ideals is going to beat that out of men at all. We're wired that way, and you're not going to change it.
So I heard this podcast about, like women getting maternity leave, right? And that maternity leave should be changed so that women can spend like the first year, 2 years with their newborn, right? And how men don't get that, right? And this it's the Diary of a CEO, right? And he gets asked, hey, could you give up your career for 2 years to stay home? Honest to God, 2 years, stay home with your new child if you were given the opportunity. And he's like, honestly, no. He's like, I wouldn't be able to do it. He's like, and it has nothing to do with the fact that like he wouldn't love that child and wouldn't want to take care of that child. But he's like, I would not progress in my company or in my standing as far as like there's too much he would be missing out in 2 years that would set him behind on what he's doing. Whereas a woman, on the other hand, if they were like, hey, you can have 2 years off from your job to care and love for your child since it's an infant, they would take it in a heartbeat.
Well, that goes along with the reason why the pay gap that feminists, the new age feminists yell about how women make 70 cents on the dollar, and that has been proven incorrect. It's been debunked 1,000 times because all they did was take all the men and they took all the women, they added up all the salaries and divided it by all the salaries of women. So that's been debunked 1,000 times. There's women take more time off. Women, they prioritize family. And men prioritize family too, but we prioritize it differently. We look at it like women look at it like we need to be home for the kids. And men look at it like I need to be at work to be able to give the kids what they need. We look at it a little different. Women look at it like they need love. And men look at it like they need somebody to provide for them. Like if I don't go to work, I don't make money. If I don't make money, I can't keep the heat on. I can't keep the house roof over their head. I can't. So men look at work as providing for their family, completely different. Goes along with the women are much better when it comes to the emotional, loving needs of children. And men are much better at the, let me show you what a man's supposed to, disciplinary, stuff like that. And men and women work off of each other. So I couldn't do it. Like I tried to be, when I retired from the military, I tried to be retired for 3 months. And most people look at that like, oh my God, you got 3 months off. My wife came home one day and she looked at me and was like, you need a fucking job. Like you're an asshole when you're not working. And I was ill-tempered. I just wasn't I was always like I was missing something. I don't know. We argued a lot. I snipped a lot. And it was me. Nothing she did was wrong, but I was just really snippy. I was on edge and she was right. And plus I spent way more money than my retirement said. Like when you leave a man home alone with a credit card, that's not a good combination. Like we fucking blow through some money because we're bored and we do shit. And after a very expensive shopping trip for me, which was one of my Corvettes, along with a couple other things in one day, she came home and she was like, yeah, you're a dick and you're spending too much money. You need a job. And ever since I got a job, like we just, men, it's also been proven that when men retire, like retire, they only live like five or 8 more years. Like they die shortly after they retire because we have no purpose in life anymore. Like men work until like they're 80, 85, like the CEOs of companies and stuff like that. Like they're 85 years old, still the CEO, and they're still kicking. It's because they have a purpose. The minute you take a purpose away from a man, he shrivels up. He's not good. So that's why I don't think men do very good at being the homemaker, because we're just not wired correctly for it.
Yeah. I could get with it. I could see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of those gender roles, I have to go do gender roles because my wife is going to be home soon. And I've been sitting here playing podcasts with my friend and I haven't done anything in the kitchen. And I have to go clean up a little bit. So
make sure you get your kilt out.
I have to, I do. We didn't even get into that. We didn't even get into that dress. No. I could, real quick, she asked if I could, what's the most comfortable thing I could wear? And I was like, if it wasn't society saying no, dress. A fucking kilt. They look fucking comfortable. But we'll leave that for another podcast just to give you guys something to come back to. On that note, I am going to go take care of the house so my wife has nothing to do when she gets home. And hopefully she can take care of me. Fine. You can do that all you want.
Everybody.
In about an hour and a half, I'm going to be naked. All right. Take it easy.
Take it easy. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yep. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
There we go.